My name is Brianna Sinclair, and it is my 66th week on HRT. On my channel, I post mostly transgender content. So if you like my channel, please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me over on my Discord, my Blue Sky, and I did get an X account. And with that being said, let's get right into this video. Quick measurements update. My hips are 36 3/4. My bust is 38 inches, and my waist is 25 3/4. So all of my measurements actually increased, and I'm kind of curious if that's due to me like stopping drinking a little bit. I had a rough experience the other day, and I got really sick, and so I'm just trying to like chill out. That and my restaurant is about to get its liquor license, so I'm trying to stop before like a problem really happens. Because I don't like drink and drive or anything. I don't like to get drunk and stuff like that. I don't like to drink a lot. I do like mixed drinks and stuff like that, and I think that's kind of funny. My go-to drink is usually like a Sex on the Beach or something like that. It's like a very basic, common drink that I thoroughly enjoy just because like it's easy and it tastes good. I don't drink just to get drunk. I drink for like the enjoyment and like to kind of have fun, but mostly I like for like the taste, I guess. My emotional state. My emotional state is pretty stable for the most part. I do get sad pretty quickly, and I get anxious randomly, but I think I'm doing alright. I try and plan my days out accordingly, and tonight's going to be a really late night. My ex-wife has a pageant tomorrow, and I've got to stay up and stone her gown, so wish her luck, everyone. Hair reduction and growth. The hair on my body has reduced in thickness, and it's not as coarse. My skin is so soft now, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's honestly. It's actually kind of funny. This older gentleman came in, and I was on the phone. I was handling like business with like the restaurant and stuff, and he came over and like touched my arm, and my arms are covered in like scars, cuts, burns, and like all sorts of other stuff. And so like they're not the most appealing, so like usually like I do try and cover up my arms and stuff like that. But he like rubbed his hand across the top of my arm and was like, "Your skin is so soft." I'm like, "Thanks." I didn't quite know what to say because like I don't usually get flirted with, and like people don't usually like compliment me like that. So it was very different for me, and I was just completely took aback by it. Yeah, I'm happy my skin's getting soft, and I think part of that is like my hair not being like as coarse and it growing considerably slower, so my skin is a lot healthier, and because I'm not shaving so often, and I wouldn't necessarily say incorrectly, I would just say like so violently would be probably the right term for it, because I would do so much damage to my skin just to feel good for a couple hours. There was incidents where like I would shave it in the like late at night, just like feel how soft it would be and like how smooth it is to just glide into bed, And in the morning, it felt like Velcro. It wasn't heartbreaking, but it was discouraging, I guess. It was sad. And I'm glad that like I can keep my body hair and my body smooth really for a much more extended amount of time, because it makes me feel exceptionally good, honestly. My breast growth, they're 100% growing still. They still hurt, and like I wear like nipple covers and stuff like that, and like they're peeling them off is just painful, to say the least, because they stick, and my nipple area is pretty much where most of the pain I have is, which is fine. I don't fully understand it yet, but from what was explained to me is like, I guess the areola portion is starting to expand. They're firmer than like just normal tissue. And they're starting to like hang over a little bit, and I don't know, I'm kind of excited for it. It makes me feel better, honestly, to know that like I have this progress has been made and is actively being made, as far as like growing my breasts and stuff like that, because I don't know, it's just, there's something about like having a female figure that makes me feel good. And I think that's just like part of like my dysphoria, because I know my dysphoria is like centered around my secondary sex characteristics, because my primary sex characteristics don't really affect my gender dysphoria. And my primary sex characteristics are like your genitals and stuff like that, whereas like your secondary sex characteristics are everything like else that develop, like breast tissue, fat redistribution, and stuff like that. It's secondary characteristics that define you as like the opposite sex, or it's like what is phenotypically expressed in a way. And that's kind of it's kind of nice to kind of see that change. I'm excited for my new waist trainer to arrive. It has not arrived yet, so that's why my waist measurement is still going up, and I'm excited for it to get here, so that way I can cinch my waist in more and hopefully get back to like a ridiculous length again. I enjoy having like a really small waist, and I love getting complimented on my waist, because like my waist accentuates like my hips and my butt a little bit. It makes my hips and my butt look bigger than what it actually is, and it further helps develop my hourglass. And that makes me feel good. Fat redistribution. So I have noticed my hips and my butt are starting to get significantly bigger. I'm starting to fill out my hips and my butt. My waist is starting to like grow a little bit, and I think that's just due to like the hormones finally like catching up to me and like depositing like actual fat and stuff like that, because originally my body was supposed to start depositing fat where the normal female body would, and it just never seemed to like happen. It's now like actually happening, and I'm happy for it. I did notice it like really early on, like in my face and stuff. I guess my face rounded out very early on, and that was it was nice. I was actually brought up by like someone in the comments. They like, we can see that your face is starting to fill out a little bit, and I thought that that was really cool. I'm excited for the fat redistribution, and that I'm starting to like gain a little bit of fat. Even in my midsection, I may like enjoy my skinny waist, but I do want a BBL at some point because I think that would help me a lot more as far as my dysphoria goes. Sex drive. My sex drive is still very much the same. I can't explain why, because from what everyone has told me and what I've read, I'm an oddity in that area, because usually the HRT drops your sex drive tremendously. Like, almost painfully, it drops it. And when I say painfully, usually it's painful for like your partners, not necessarily for you, because it's something that you really don't realize that is happening. But for me, I guess, since like mine being emotionally based but still having the option to like perform is, I guess that's unique. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that I can perform daily. The only stipulation is that I have an emotional connection with my partner, which is wild to me. Because usually, like, you go on HRT and it drops a little bit, and then if you get an orchiectomy, it drops even further. And then once you get like SRS, after you're like fully healed and stuff like that, it starts to go back up, I guess. But I guess it's kind of nice that I can still perform. I can still do whatever with my partners. I just don't have one, and I doubt I'll have one anytime soon. But that'd be what it'd be. Me being tired. I am very tired, and tonight's gonna be a rough night because I gotta stay up into tomorrow, and I'm gonna finish this dress. That's what I always do. I've always had to stay up the entire night prior to her pageants, just to make sure everything was done. The last pageant she competed in that I helped, I stayed up and sewed 4 M&M mascot costumes, and they came out pretty good, but they were finished hours before the pageant, and that's what I try to avoid, and apparently we didn't learn anything, but it is what it is. It is what it is. My voice. I'm trying with my voice. I'm experimenting a little bit. I'm playing with it, and I do get compliments on it, mostly from y'all, but I just don't know what to do with it yet. But I'll get there. One day I'll get there. I think it's time time we do the walk, because I'm wearing these new boots that I got, and they go up like really high up my legs, and they fall down pretty easily, so. So what's happened so far is we're getting our liquor license soon, and people do recognize that it's coming, and a lot of people kind of like want to buy into the business. Of course, they want to buy into it once all the work is done, but the gentleman I was talking about earlier who like brushed my arm, he came in and he started flirting with me, and I don't mind being flirted with, but there is a limit. There is a limit. And it got to an uncomfortable limit for me, just because he was talking. It got a little political at one point because he was talking about like business in there as well. And he incorporated like an elephant, and he was making very interesting comments that hinted at like potentially like anti-transgender stuff, and I was very confused at one point. He wrote me some poems, and I was completely just, I was honestly probably a little upset, but I couldn't show that because I figured he was probably drunk, and he couldn't read the room, and wasn't really understanding that like the transgender community is being like really scrutinized right now, and here he is kind of talking about like, yeah, this is a good thing for you, and I'm like, no, it is not. And I don't know, it was very confusing for me. He came in the next day and brought me a swimsuit and a shirt. He also complimented me on like my body and stuff, and followed me around the restaurant the day prior. And he cornered me in the DJ booth, and that's whenever he like touched my arm, and I was like, thanks. I don't know, it was odd, the whole thing. And then whenever I got the swimsuit, I was even more confused and slightly outraged by it in a way, because like, it doesn't really, stuff like that is just, it's weird for me. It's weird for me. I don't know. I think it was the combination of like bringing business, the flirting, and like the incessant gifts, and like the politics. I think this combination was not very good, and I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way, the whole thing. And I'm glad there was someone else in the restaurant, like another guest, that saw like everything, because I wasn't 100% sure what was going to happen. I know what would have happened if he tried anything, I would have put him in his place. I'm evidently a very tough girl who can handle her own. I actually got into an altercation with two people and won against both. And that was interesting. I honestly didn't think I was going to win that one, but I'm glad I did. I'm 130 pounds and I took on someone who's like 230 and 150. By all accounts, I probably should have been destroyed. But I'm okay. I guess I just don't like really being, I guess in that whole situation, because I am kind of like still caught up on this dude that came in and started flirting with me. It's like, I guess I'm just not the one that enjoys like flirtatious words. I guess I'm just the one that like enjoys direct and physical contact, I guess. I don't know. The rubbing on my arm was a little weird, but it honestly threw me a completely different way than the politics and the business bit did. That part messed with me really hard because it made his motive ambiguous. And at one point there was a psychological portion he was doing and I was like, we're not doing this. You're not gonna like tell me like if you think I'm mentally stable or not, and you're not gonna tell me if I'm flirting with you or not, because he thought I was flirting with him. And because like something I do is like I play with my hair, like even now, like I play with my hair because like it gets in my face and stuff like that, and I'm not a real big fan of it like that. It's at a weird length where like, I don't know if y'all can see this. This is like the length I have at some points, and it gets in my face and my eyes, and it'll get like behind my glasses, and that's where it really messes with me. So I don't know. I was oh shoot. Anyway, we're almost finished moving. My ex-wife, her boyfriend, and we kind of live together at this point, and we're almost finished moving. Her and her boyfriend have to get the remainder of their stuff out of the house, and then it should all be good. I haven't really started dating again because A, I'm not over my ex-wife, and B, I guess I have a lot of reflecting to do on the type of partner I want, because I'm a homebody. I'm a busybody, and like I like to stay at home. I go out occasionally, but it's not that often, and I know that's not necessarily fun for people. Is what it is, though. I actually, just before shooting this video, was thinking about something because I had watched a video about another transgender woman. She had transitioned, and her best friend was writing this. As she transitioned, she got happier, and she was able to be herself a lot more. And her friend, that they've literally known each other their entire lives because their families were friends. And her friend was falling in love with who she was, or who she is. and he found this woman that she's become incredibly attractive. She was getting asked out a lot, and he was worried that he was going to miss his chance, I guess. And it took him a while to actually, ask her out. And he was worried that, it would ruin their family's relationship or ruin their friendship if she said no or if they didn't work out. And they're valid concerns, but she said yes and was incredibly excited about it because she was kind of waiting for him, it seems like. I don't really think that anyone that I grew up with feels the same way about me, and I'm 100% sure, because I'm not even in the same state that I grew up in. I'm from a little place in Missouri, the southwest corner, and one of my friends, there's a couple of them actually, I think from my childhood, that know that I have transitioned. One of them, I had a huge crush on, my entire childhood, and I thought it was funny. She's dating someone, she's got a son, and he's super cute. And another one's actually a trans man. I think that was funny because I actually took him to a dance in high school. It was the mill ball. I was in my military uniform, and what's up?
Are you done?
No, I'm almost done.
Okay, I'm gonna take you home.
Okay.
Girl, you taking forever. Wrap the video up.
Shit.
Okay. Oh, you on video with somebody. Because you don't talk about...
You just want to get in on this video. Come here.
No, because you don't talk on video about military uniforms. No, I don't.
I will. I'm actually recording a video. Yes. Come on and say hi. Well, that's your fault. See?
Oh my God. I don't want to look crazy. Bitch.
I told you exactly what it was. Anyway, I took him to a mill ball in high school. It's because I did Army ROTC, JROTC. And it's funny to look back on now because he showed up and I picked him up in my Army green uniform because that was the uniform back in the day, and he was in such a beautiful dress. Oh my gosh. And I think it's funny now because if our roles were what they are now, they'd be switched. I'd be in a dress and he'd be in probably a suit and tie because he wasn't in JROTC, but the point is he'd be in a fancy suit or something like that. And I thought that was so funny. He transitioned before me, and I don't know, I think his transition was one of the coolest things I've ever seen because I do get jealous of him occasionally because his voice is incredibly masculine because of the testosterone he's on, And I'm only jealous because like the estrogen that I'm on doesn't help me with my voice, so it's always like, it's like, I envy you because your voice got masculine over the course of a year. And actually, he was very passable, like 3 months in, like via his voice. And me, I am sitting here at a year and a half, and to me, I sound kind of masculine, but I'm getting to the point where like I'm kind of comfortable with like the way I sound, I guess. But I don't know. I'm sorry if I keep playing with like my boobs and stuff. They just keep like riding down. But I don't know. It is what it is. I think those are the only two that actually know that I've transitioned, now that I think about it. And one of my exes. She actually, we were dating, the story with her is we were dating on and off throughout junior high and high school, and she used to be the prettiest thing, and she just changed. She wanted like attention and sex, and it just, I don't know, it changed her, I guess. We eventually got together, and she was a little different. She had 2 kids, and I didn't care. I had always wanted to be like, at the time I didn't want kids, but I accepted her kids and stuff like that because I'm one of those people that like fully believes that like if you're gonna be with someone who has kids, you have to accept their kids with them. It's not like you only get like the person. That's not how that works. I was doing laundry one day, and I thought it would be funny to put her clothes on and to like kind of like cross dress a little bit, and for her to walk in and see it, 'cause I thought it would be funny. She kind of already had this idea that I might be gay, and because like she fully knew that like I was capable of like bottoming or like getting pegged and stuff like that, and that was something like I just didn't really care for at the time because it didn't do anything for me or her. And I honestly really don't care about it now, if I'm being totally honest, because sexually I just focus on pleasing my partner. It's not an act that's really about me. It's about exploration and like pleasure for them. And like obviously like I hope they like return the favor, but as long as like I please them, I feel like I've done what I set out to do in that regard. But she came in and saw me dressed up and was mortified. She was absolutely horrified at what she saw, and I don't think she talked to me for like an hour afterwards. She left the room, shut the door. I took everything off and changed back into my boy clothes, and I was freaking out the whole time. I was just nervous and upset because like I thought it was supposed to be funny, and I didn't. Once the clothes were on, I knew it was probably a mistake because I didn't expect to enjoy everything as much as I did. kind of just sat down and was like enjoying like how everything felt, and it was kind of convenient because we did wear the same size. She was actually like my height and roughly my build as a girl, and I thought it was funny. And that's kind of like sparked the idea of like, what if I did this and hopefully she found it funny or cute or something, I don't know. And it went a completely different way than what I had planned. And when she finally talked to me, she asked me like if I was gay, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think so, but we broke up, and I ended up getting my first boyfriend just to see, and he was a little Filipino dude, and he was the sweetest thing. Oh my gosh. He was so fucking sweet. Oh my gosh. Or, sorry, so sweet. And I broke up with him after a couple months because he got annoying at times and it was little things, and I honestly sometimes I regret it, but he would annoy me sometimes, and I would talk to him about it. Like, it's not like I was like, ugh, all this stuff is building up, I'm just gonna dump this person. It's like, no, I tried to talk to them about it, nothing changed, and I really, really wanted them to. I really wanted them to just not do these little things. But I'll never forget it. He showed up on our first date and was actually really cute. I actually didn't know I was talking to him until he said my name, because he was a cross-dresser. He dressed up as a complete woman and in full confidence met me, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess this is how it's gonna be, and that's okay with me. The other thing that I didn't like was that he was solely a bottom, and I wanted to explore a little bit. I didn't want to just always top. I wanted to like bottom sometimes. I wanted to see how that felt. Like, I don't know, and he was not about it. And I think the last thing that really kind of made me uncomfortable was, because sex to me is about exploring and like getting to know everything about your partner, every square inch, everything that makes them like happy, and I wasn't allowed to explore certain parts of him, and it just made me feel a certain kind of way, and I was like, I don't really like that. I would much rather like be able to touch, feel everything, instead of just only parts. But that's okay. After that, I met my ex-wife, and we got married, and had a wonderful marriage until like I transitioned, and then we separated and got a divorce. During the separation, I did try to date a little bit, and at times it was fun, but for the most part it was just awkward, because I'm still very much in love with my ex-wife. It's hard because I don't know, like, why I'm unable to just, like, move on through it. I guess I'm just waiting to see if, like, she loves the final version of me, or I don't know. mostly I'm just kind of like tired of dating, honestly. Dating's always like been super like rough for me, and like as a boy it was just awkward because like I feel like people just saw me and like I had a very generic look as a boy, and I don't know, I guess dating's not what like I thought it was gonna be. Dating as a boy was very lonely. Dating as a girl is just awkward because everyone just like wants to have like sex, and it's not me. I'm very, very demisexual. Like, I don't think there's two of my partners I've actually like slept on like the first date with, and both of those I was a boy. I don't think I'm able to do it now on the first date. It's kind of it is what it is. But that's just what most people want, and I don't look at gender, race, color. I don't look at sex. I just look at like how they treat me and like how they make me feel. Like I would love for them to be able to like join me on certain things. Like I would love to be able to like go to the gym with my partner or run with them, or like go swimming with them. Or like even if like they wanted to play games, which I really don't play games, they would have to be okay with me just like being that partner that's just like all over them, because that's just the kind of person I am. I'm just, if I'm with someone, like not only do they know it, everyone else knows it. It is what it is for me. I don't. Anyway, I think that's enough for this video. If y'all like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me over on my Discord, my Discord. I have an X account, and my Blue Sky. There we go. It's been a rough night. I'm sorry, y'all. With that being said.